Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant news and big news in the Valorant world today. First of all, being a new agent, the potential abilities have been leaked, but also Subroza talking about the possibilities for franchising next season, saying that many pro players, maybe including himself, but unlikely we shall see, are going to get completely screwed over by this system. How many pros are actually going to lose their job? That remains to be seen. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you are new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Videos of the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that one. Plenty to discuss as always. First of all, just to say this real quick. So Team Secrets have been spotted in a Discord with Frost. Now you guys might remember the name Frost because he was the coach for 100 Thieves for quite some time. There was of course some drama with Frost actually. They eventually got rid of him last year. November 2021 they got rid of him. Of course since then they brought in Sean Gares, DDK, and the team has turned around massively. Now I mean look, there was some drama with Frost. There was like the stuff when he was on the phone to the admins, right, and he wasn't particularly happy. But anyway, Frost might be back in business, potentially with Team Secrets. We shall see about that one. And if those teams matched up at Champions, that would of course be rather exciting. But I'm pretty sure they're not in the same group to start. The other thing to mention is potential changes coming to the game. So firstly, this on Fracture. There was, I think, a TikTok that came out actually from the Riot side, and they showed briefly a clip of this, which looks to me like the kind of Fracture, well obviously you know where this is on Fracture, but on the left-hand side here, like, I mean, this box is for sure different, right? Pretty sure this box is, like, you can't really see past it, whereas now it gives you the possibility to jump on top of this small box and see over this one. So that is kind of interesting. Maybe they feel like it's too difficult to, like, take this from an attacking perspective, maybe, or, I don't know, this opens up new opportunities. If you guys can quick, yeah, just about see that on the left-hand side here. So, yes, interesting stuff if they're going to make some changes to Fracture, because, you know, I was theorizing yesterday when we talked about Pearl, like, what do they need to do to Pearl to fix it? They're not just gonna like say, okay, yeah, Pearl's terrible, let's just remove it from the map pool and bring Split back. They're gonna try and commit to Pearl being a good competitive map and make whatever changes are necessary, right? We've seen this in Counter-Strike, that maps get refined over even a decade to be as good as they can be for competitive, right? So I think Valorant are probably trying a similar approach, and that maybe this small change here on Fracture is just one change of many they might make to this map if they want to make it significantly better as well. Pretty good map, right? But maybe they're taking some feedback on board from some pros and, you know, some other players, of course. Now, this another thing to mention. So we believe a new agent is coming soon. It hasn't been confirmed yet or anything, but I think it's an Indian male agent is the theory. I guess a controller type agent as well, probably what we need in the game. Now, this was kind of leaked here on this screenshot that comes along, where you can see at the bottom here, Vision Taker, Tatara's Pit, or whatever you pronounce that as, Bubble, Golem, and I mean, yeah, you can see the red things here kind of imply that these blue hands here are effectively like there's no agent model in the game. So kind of interesting as Valor League says, because at this time in development for FaZe, like she already had a model in the game rather than like not being this at all. So this of course could change, but the leaks are as follows in terms of what the agent is actually going to do. First of all, they've got a bubble, so you can equip a bubble and enter into a phased state to place down a bubble by pressing the ability key. Activate to create an impenetrable bubble, bullets cannot pass through. That's really interesting, to be fair. Like look, of course these things could change. I actually hadn't realized and taken note here that the name of this agent I suppose is meant to be Mage. Pretty interesting stuff, rather similar to Sage. But I mean, yeah, so yeah, bullets apparently can't pass through this bubble if that's what happens. Then you've got the Tartarus Pit, equip a Tartarus Charger, fire to launch a shot that deals some damage and slows players within the zone, so kind of a standard thing. Vision Taker, equip a Distortion Wall Launcher, fire to create a small line of distortion. Enemies will get briefly blinded if they walk through. That's pretty interesting, right? Like the idea of a Viper wall, or like any wall in the game, but instead of it being a wall, it's more like you know, some sort of distortion effect. Like that's pretty interesting, right? So you can see maybe through it, but like what you see isn't accurate of where things actually are. So you can maybe even see players on the other side of it, but if you shoot at their model through the distortion wall, that's not actually where they are, right? They're actually off to the left or something. That'd be really interesting to see how that one would play out actually, but of course not going to be as effective, I suppose, as a normal wall. It'd be really interesting if like there was a way to like you know, or maybe on some angles or certain ways you don't get the distortion effect, so you can actually see through it and they can't see you, like a one-way mirror. Like I guess we'll see if there's any ways to abuse something like that. But yeah, enemies will get briefly blinded if they walk through it. And also this, the Golem, equip a Golem doll, fire to throw down. All teammates get a regeneration buff and enemies get a decay debuff. All of these abilities will most likely be changed before release, of course. So I mean, yeah, I suppose we'll see. But this interesting, like controller-esque agents, but also has got this kind of regeneration thing going on as well. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about this potential abilities? Of course, all could change, but yeah, certainly this distortion wall, I'm pretty excited to see how that one will play out. Let's dive then into the potential of franchising next year. We expect TSM to get a spot, but of course, even if they do get a spot, whether their actual roster remains is a big question mark here. So, I mean, yeah, there was a crazy series last night between TSM and, well, firstly, this is the TSM Academy versus TSM game from a couple of days ago. But last night, it was the TSM main roster versus the nearest airports team. Now, this nearest airport team actually gave them an incredibly good game. This is in this, the MCT Premiership Season 3 that's going on right now, and it was 2-1 for TSM, but this is not an easy series, right? If we look at these numbers, Corey had 76 kills, Seven had 78 kills, and loads of those kills came on Bind. So Ascent was 13-11 to nearest airport in the end. Then Haven was 13-8 in terms of TSM, and then Bind, look at this, 20-18 for TSM on Bind here. Seven had 43 kills, Corey had 33 kills, and yet the team still barely won. I've not, look at these numbers and tell me how this was 18-20. Plus 20, plus 9, plus 3. I don't understand how that's even possible looking at the scoreboard that this game went to all these overtimes. But, I suppose it did. I guess they just dominated their defensive side and lost a load of clutch rounds. But, wow, that's kind of crazy. So, look, TSM, if they're losing a game like this, or at least getting close to losing a game like this, and yes, there's some solid players on the other side here. Calypso, Leviathan, of course, Elgato rides, as is now known. But, it doesn't exactly give me that much confidence in this TSM team going into franchising next year if they were to keep them. Because you would imagine, of course, that this roster will, at least this organization will get through. And in a couple of days, TSM will play City Boys for the final of this bracket. So, look, an interesting game. TSM made it through at least, but it doesn't exactly inspire too much confidence, I imagine, in the organization. That is the thing. Which organizations are going to get through to franchising? You'd imagine with their history, tenure, Sentinels, TSM, 100 Thieves, these orgs will get through. Some of them, like 100 Thieves, OpTic, for example, have great rosters. They will probably, depending on what happens at Champions, want to at least keep the majority of their team. TSM, though, are in an interesting boat where their team might think, you know what, we can upgrade these guys quite significantly. And Subroza seems to have a good idea that this might indeed happen. He was kind of explaining his thought process with regard to franchising coming through and saying that, yeah, many pro players are going to find themselves in a tough spot here. A lot of guys that are currently on rosters are going to get into franchising next season and they're going to get screwed over. Yes, they might still be able to join a tier 2 team with some sort of salary and try and make it through into the franchise league via the Ascension format we looked at a few days ago, but still, it's not exactly the same, and he's probably feeling that TSM might be in a similar boat.
One enemy remaining.
I have dash, just give me a second. Long. Put it in.
Oh!
That's at least a 6-figure salary there.
That's a franchising round.
No charges left.
What does that mean? I know a lot of people say it, but I'm guessing it's just
because their franchising is coming soon, and it's not a lot of team making it. So a lot of pro players will be done. So if franchising round, he deserves to be in the franchise because it's very exclusive. It's 8 teams and there's 16 teams.
If you want to ghost, I'm gonna buy a gun.
Hiko, give me the 3 months. A lot of people are gonna get. I can't wait to get. I want to be a content creator. No, shit.
There's no way. You're
Oh,
the
yeah.
face of TSM.
God
Checking the
damn it.
situation.
So if you were the TSM guys, what would you do, right? Would you keep Corey? Would you keep Rossi? I think he's been kind of the key player lately in discussion. There's been a lot of talk about Rossi and exactly, his attitude and stuff like this that people raise questions about. Of course, look, Subroza to a certain extent is kind of their franchise guy, even if he doesn't have the craziest numbers all the time. So TSM have to consider these things. But at the same time, if there are many upgrade players theoretically out there on the market, TSM have to consider these guys if they want to take their team to the next level. Because if they turn up to next year's franchise league with this team of 5, they're not going to do particularly well. That's just how it is. So some further indications really there from Subroza as to what we can expect with this franchise league, but indicating that many players are going to get screwed over because of this, and only really the top dogs are guaranteed to be on their roster for next year. But so many players out there, even the likes of B-Dog, right, on kind of Shopify Rebellion, not going to be in franchising next season, not going to be at Champions. That's a big name player there on the market. So of course, doesn't always fit with the role these teams need. Seven's doing a fantastic job right now for TSM, but a pretty concerning time, of course, for many fans, but also the players for these teams. So very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Nice little graphic here, just talking about Asuna 100 Thieves going into the World Championship. But hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new as always, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.
As hard as you can. They need to hold their crosses. They've shown success with it before. Can they do it again? Can they find the win? Is Corey going to be the entry?
Corey versus Governor. It's back and forth. Subroza entries onto Leviathan. Calypso strikes back though. Governor goes down. This is rough. This could be it. 4-2. The patience from season to the slow play. The pace change-up is working out in their favor. Calypso 4-1, but he's the last player standing. 60 HP. 1v3. Only an operator and a classic, maybe a headhunter. No bullets. I'll take it back. This is OT. It's done. The crossfire. He needs a miracle to pull this off. Divine intervention. And God shall not grant him such a pleasure. 20-18. Finally, we end it. 48 rounds. Oh, sorry, 38 rounds. I'm capping. I'm starting to green out. This has gone on for too long.
That was one of the most back and forth series we've ever seen here in the Premiership, and why not make it happen in the semi-finals of the upper bracket? We'll be diving a little bit deeper. Actually, I don't believe we actually have time to as